back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. We are early in the morning, but I need to get out and get something done here before we take off for the day's activities. Hope you guys are doing well. I want to get this posted this morning so I get a chance to kind of talk about a topic. It's going to be kind of a crazy day for the Warrior, but we're going to try to get things done and continue on a conquest. I hope you guys are all enjoying every day, keeping conquesting yourself, other people, making sure you're taking care of everything under God's purpose. I didn't get to a lot of the new shout-outs. I'm going to have to do that at some point this week. I will do that soon. We have some topics that we're going to cover over the next week or so, but I'm going to take one right now, and that's from Ben W., and I was going to talk about setting up goals and purpose under SR. Martin, I will get to solar cultivation, but I want to get some more information on that before we talk about it. All right, so we're at 1 minute here, and I want to shout out to Ben W. We're going to talk about setting up goals and purposes under semen retention. So why is this different? Well, first of all, let's take a step back, Warriors. Every Warrior, to be successful, in my opinion, has to have goals. Now, for many years, I've been teaching at the college level, and even at the high school level, I've taught. And the main thing I tell our young people, and I was a young person once myself, a young warrior, that you never accomplish anything unless you have a goal. Now, I'm not talking about a general goal, like a goal like buying a car, or a goal like buying a house or being rich. Those are general ones. Those are much more difficult because the mind will focus. The mind will focus on the goal. The more specific it is, the better. Most people, most warriors have trouble coming up with specific goals because once they lock in, then they're set. Now, you can change your goals, of course, but your mind will focus on that goal saying, that's what I want. This is the trouble with most warriors. Most warriors out there, they're not true warriors yet, of course, but they could be warriors. They don't actually know what they want. Therefore, it's difficult for most people to commit to something long enough to get as a goal. And your mind just does not work like that. You have to continue repeating the message to yourself over and over again. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. And stick to that goal. Specific goals, long-term goals, these are all very important. We'll talk about that as we go along. But certainly, you need to have this idea in your mind that the warrior, the human being, has to move in certain directions and has to have a goal, a plan. Without that, you kind of like have like a ship without a rudder. You're running all over the place. You may get lucky once in a while, but eventually you're going to self-destruct because you have no goal. The same thing happens when we're talking about retention. One of the reasons why goals become important when you're focusing on this journey that we're on is because warriors, we're focusing on self-control. Yes, we call it retention, and we could call it celibacy, brahmacharya, sophism. There's lots of different names we could call it depending on what culture and what religion and all those type of things you're with. But the bottom line is being taught here through any religion you look at is self-sacrifice, self-control, self-discipline. You are not releasing energy that you have unless you're trying to procreate. You're using that energy to repair your body, to make it grow, to become stronger in many ways. And because of that, now you're focusing on a goal. Retention is a goal. It becomes a goal. Now, I'm at 1,075 days. I've lost track. And actually, I've said this many times. I don't really count the days. I'm only doing it because I want to kind of illustrate as time goes on. And I've had people talk about the fact that I look better, though I can't really tell. I look better now than I did when I first started this a couple years ago. So the idea is that it should be increasing. Some people comment on the voice and the intro and all that kind of stuff, that the power is stronger. Well, it should be stronger, right? You're holding more in. If I'm doing it the right way, if I'm transmuting the right way, you should be set. But the main thing that is focusing here on is your benefit of focusing clarity and making sure now that you're controlling yourself. So on my set of goals, I have these goals. No fap, right? Monk mode, retention, all these type of things. So these become goals. Now, because you start setting goals, short-term goals, we started with maybe 90 days, then we went into 6 months, then a year. The same thing applies with any goals you put together. So as retention goes through, and this I think is the question that Bob's talking about here, it's easier to set a purpose and a goal because you're focusing on now becoming better in all these areas. Now, because you're retaining and you're able to overcome a lot of that temptation, now you're focusing on different things. Taking a cold shower takes a lot of self-control. You're going into that water. You know it's going to be freezing at 5 o'clock in the morning. But you're going in there and you're taking it. You understand that, right? Then you're eating. You're trying to keep that. I'm still working on that myself. Making sure you have the right foods all the time. Exercising, a habit. You're forming some control over your life. All these are little goals you're working on. Now, obviously, you guys have all mentioned in your comments, and I haven't gotten them all. I will get to them as soon as possible. But you guys are mentioning how much you get success in business. You're making more money. Your music sounds better. All these great comments you guys are making because you're on retention. And yes, I've people talking about they release every so often here and there. Well, that's going to happen. That happened to me for 40-some years. But the main thing is you got in mind this is a lifestyle change. And you go back and you keep focusing on your goals. The more you're focusing on your goals, the less you're going to think about all this other stuff. The less you're going to be tempted. The less you're going to be looking at women as objects and all that kind of stuff, lusting after them, thirsting after them. That's what starts putting you down the hole. And that gets you in the cages that you're putting of your own self-destruction. The idea is that you want to get away from all that by having set goals. Now, the goals should be under the purpose of the Lord. As you're talking to the Lord, as you're meditating, as you're praying, with all this retention, the worries you have, you're praying to God, saying, give me some ideas and purposes of what I should be doing. Now, it took me many years to kind of figure out what I'm doing now in helping people is what I should have been doing a long time ago. So it took me a while. So I know from experience how difficult that is. But talking with the Lord day by day, as you're thinking about talking to your God, thinking about what you're trying to do, that will set up ideas in your mind. Take a piece of paper out, start writing 6 month goals. Even 6 week goals if you want. Then put together a year, 5 years, 10 years. Now you may change as time goes on, but you have a purpose under God. You have a purpose. Look at your Bible. Look at the text you're reading. Those type of things will tell you what you should be doing. Therefore, as you continue on your semen retention path, what you're focusing now on is achieving those goals. You're looking at that saying, I can accomplish this. And once you start ticking those off and checking those boxes, I accomplished this, I accomplished that, you become more confident, you become stronger as a warrior, and now you know you can do more and more and more. You build a habit of confidence and success because you've done this. That same thing applies in NoFap and not releasing, right? As you build 30 days, 60 days, you're building a habit. They say it takes about 3 weeks to start breaking the habit. So you're talking about 21, 30 days. Now you're moving in the right direction. As you continue, obviously those forces are going to come after you, trying to get you back into having no goals. The more you have no goals, the more that Satan and the evil ones can come and get you. They can tempt you because you have no purpose. This is what happens to 95% of the people that we're running around with. That's why they're not the warriors. 95% of these people have no goals. They're aimless, running around. Aimless human beings because they don't have a goal. Yes, they're trying to survive. They're trying to get enough money to eat, do this kind of stuff. But if you ask them, what their long-term plan is, even a short-term plan. They can't tell you specifics that I want to make $1 million by 2024, January 2024. They can't tell you that. They can't tell you what specific goals they want to achieve in the next week because they don't have that set mind. And the way you do this is you get away from all these pleasures and you use them as just entertainment when you need them. When you get away for a little bit, fine. But remember, your main purpose as far as a warrior goes, providing, protecting the world around you. I see more and more now, traditional wives, different things coming back. Of course it is. Because women, though, they've been put down the wrong path with all this crap over the years. All this stuff about everybody being alone. Men need women to be feminine. Women need men to be masculine. I heard it again this morning. You watch the women talk, and they're starting to say, where are all the warriors at? Where are all the masculine men at? Well, lots of things have happened. A lot of young men I talk to, not raised by a father, no father in the picture. Right? They don't know how to be a man. It's not their fault. They just don't know. They got to find ways. Right? I had to do some of that myself. Find ways to find models of males that you can emulate. This is what happens when the family is broken up. The kids don't have mouths. And when the daughters grow up and they have no father, they don't know what kind of man to look for. The same thing happens with boys. When they don't have mothers, they don't know what kind of woman to look for. And they find themselves repeating the same mistakes over and over again. So this is why goals are important. Focus on your life, becoming the best person you can be under God, making sure that you are affecting the people around you in a way where you're standing for something. You're being that masculine male, and you can't go wrong. So I appreciate Ben W. I appreciate you, Ben. Shout out to you, my friend, for a great topic. But always remember, warriors, that you can't accomplish anything unless you know where you're going. You have to know where you're going. This is why the first thing you got to do as you do this plan is saying, I'm going to focus on my goals. And as I focus on my goals, I'm not going to worry about all these other temptations around me. I'm not going to let those temptations bother me. I'm going to continue striving for my goals. All right, my friends. Well, I hope you have a great day today. And remember 2 things as always, warriors. First of all, every day, like this one coming up, is a great day to a great warrior. And number 2, my friends, don't forget to battle